आपको what's the budget at CDC? Do you happen to know that?
CDC, it's about $9 billion, sir.
How about at NIAID? What's the budget there?
$6 billion.
6 billion, 9 billion at CDC, 6 billion NIAID. What about NIH? What's the budget there?
Between 42 and 43 billion.
42 and 43. So I do the quick math. That's like 58 billion dollars. That's annual, right?
Annual.
Okay. And you know how many people work at CDC?
CDC and NIH together, about 30,000 people.
30,000. What about if you add in NIAID? Do you know how many that is? Or they're part of NIH as well, right? So 30. What was that number?
That's right. That's right. 31,000 people between CDC and NIH.
31,000 people spending $58 billion a year. Why hasn't our government done a study on natural immunity?
If I can be honest, Representative Jordan, I don't think they want to know the answer. It would undermine the indiscriminate vaccination policy for every single human being, including extremely low risk people.
So, how many Americans have got COVID since we've had this virus? Do you know?
North of half of Americans, based on a Columbia University study that showed 1 in 3 had COVID at the end of last year, a year ago.
So there's certainly a sufficient sample size to do a study, and there's 57 to 58 billion dollars. You could use some of that money to do a study, and then of course you got 30-some thousand people who could conceivably do a study on a pretty fundamental question. Now, I think I saw in your opening statement that you're actually doing a study on natural immunity. Is that right?
That's right. With private funding, Johns Hopkins, my research team is doing a study.
Okay, so there's no grant money coming from CDC, NIH, nothing like that?
No, sir.
And are any of these 30-some thousand employees helping you with your study?
No, sir.
Now, other countries, if I understand, I think this was in your opening statement as well, other countries have done this study. Is that correct?
Most of our learnings come from Israel and other countries. Yes, sir.
And what have they found? Let's start with the Israel study. If you could just refresh my memory. What did Israel find?
The Israel study is the largest study done worldwide, and it found that natural immunity adjusted for age and comorbidity is 27 times more effective than vaccinated immunity. And they just put out on December 5th another study, follow-up study, again affirming similar results, that natural immunity is stronger than vaccinated immunity.
But the scientists in our government at CDC and NIH, they don't account for that. They don't talk about that. What do they say about that study?
They never talk about it unless asked. But I would say that they are doing worse than being absent on the topic. They are undermining natural immunity through 2 studies that the CDC did that are so flawed, that are so poorly put together. Honestly, they would not qualify for a 7th grade science fair. The results cannot be derived from the data. And it's a disgrace that those...
वापस आ जाओ. ये fraud CDC, fraud NIH और Mr. Biden, आपका कबाल मीडिया, आपका कबाल गैंग all across world. शर्म आ रही है Mr. Biden आपको? आपको थोड़ी सी भी शर्म है? आपको थोड़ी सी भी शर्म है बाइडन? बाइडन आपको थोड़ा सा भी शर्म है क्या? है क्या? नहीं है. नहीं है बाइडन, नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि तुम सोरोस, रॉकफेलर, गेट्स, इन माफियाओं के साथ तुम्हारी मिली भगत है. तुमको सब पता है. $58 बिलियन का एनुअल बजट है NIH और CDC का, लेकिन वो नेचुरल इम्यूनिटी पर कोई शोध नहीं कर रहा है. वैक्सीन, ड्रग, इस पर तो वो करता है, लेकिन नेचुरल इम्यूनिटी पर NIH और CDC $58 बिलियन, 31,000 एम्प्लॉय का संगठन, एक ने भी नेचुरल इम्यूनिटी पर कोई शोध नहीं किया.